And I remember back, it was actually 15 years ago, my wife and I, we had arrived back from Denmark, and we were given the opportunity to lead a very small community in a market town in Essex. And it was a little church full of really faithful, wonderful, beautiful people who had kept this church going for 2 years, pretty much on their own. And there was a week that changed everything. So we'd been at the church for a year. And I guess I wouldn't have described myself as I'm bored with the church. I mean, no leader, if you went up to them and said, how's your church going?
Boring.
I'm bored.
Wouldn't be good.
No. But I would say I was faithful, doing what was expected of a leader. Mm-hmm. But really tired. And my expectation levels were not huge. I mean, we at that point hadn't seen a visitor come to the church for 2 years.
Wow.
So it was good
tough.
people.
That's tough.
Yeah. And there was just this week that turned everything around. That it really was revolved around a meeting with Julian Adams, a prophet. And one of the meetings in that week, oil appeared in my hands, and a real sense of God's called you to the miraculous. Friday night, my wife and I were in a meeting, and he prophesied over us everything that God had ever said about us and everything for the future. We just came alive. A non-believer was in that meeting, got healed, prophesied over, became a believer. And all that happened in 1 week. And I can only say it was a week that blew the lid off, but it was a week with Holy Spirit. Rochelle and I, my wife, we could not sleep for 3 months. And we'd have to say it was because we had been with Jesus in the most profound way that just, if there was any apathy, boredom, predictability, that all went.
It suddenly disappeared.
And the church changed. 6 months later, we were having new people visit every month for a year. Holy Spirit, around about a year later, sudden manifestation of the presence of God in a new way. We became a place where people would come to get refreshed. Still a small church, but we were alive, full of expectation.
So you had life, basically, that suddenly arrived. Yeah, I think the Bible, the Bible refers to places where actually it talks about saying having a sort of religious practices, but denying the power of it. That the sense of, I think a powerless church is not a very attractive church, and it in one sense boring, and so it goes back to if we're talking about freedom, what's the definition of freedom? For me, it says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So actually, freedom is defined by the presence of God. So his essence is freedom, and also. He's an infinite and eternal God. Therefore, there's no end to the discovery of who he is. So freedom is not a limited concept, which I think is what a lot of Christians get stuck in. They get stuck in the free from bit rather than the free to be bit, which is what we want to explore.